University Challenge. It's a program to test your wits and your knowledge. Asking the questions, Bamber Gascoigne.
Hello, and in University Challenge this week we have with us again the London School of Economics, who defeated Birmingham last week. And we also have with us a new team to challenge them, which is from the Students' Union of University College of Cardiff. So let's meet the two teams, and first of all, Cardiff.
I'm Gerry State, I come from Taunton. I'm doing a postgraduate course in teachers' training.
Brian Cashman from Wembley, Middlesex, postgraduate course in teacher training.
I'm Neva Rogers from Chicago. I'm in social studies.
I'm Terry Morrison from Worcester Park, Surrey. I'm also doing postgraduate course in teachers training.
And now the London School of Economics.
Kishore Bhimani from Calcutta doing economics and government.
Trevor Fisk from London doing government and politics.
Alan Siegel from London doing government and politics.
Harry Davis, London, government.
The teams will be answering all sorts of questions, and the winners at the end will go on to meet a university challenge from the students of Edinburgh next week. But now, a brief look at the rules. I have, as usual, two types of questions, starter questions and bonus questions. A starter question is a race between the two teams, because whoever signals first can answer it, like this. If his answer is correct, his whole team can try for a more valuable bonus question. If his answer is wrong, the starter is offered to the other team. On a starter question, I can only accept an absolutely correct answer first time, but on a bonus where the teams can confer amongst themselves, if there's any dispute, I will accept the answer finally given me by the captain. And the captain for Cardiff is Brian Cashman. The captain for the LSE is Alan Siegel. So now our actual playing time tonight, 21 minutes. When the clock reaches 14 minutes, we will have a breather. But now let's go and let's start the clock. And I have a bonus of 20 coming up, and here is your first starter for 10. I'm going to read you a list of words, and I want you to tell me in terms of their meaning what they have in common. Barley, kings and crosses, Fenites, scribs, crogs.
Cardiff, Morrison.
I believe they're all types of games, recreation games.
No, that's not the answer. It's 5-point penalty to Cardiff for interrupting wrongly in the middle. I'll just complete the list to London School of Economics. Barley, kings and crosses, Fenites, scribs, crogs, and X's.
London, Davis.
It means pause, halt.
Yes, correct. They're all children's truce terms used in different parts of the countries. And that is therefore 10 points to London School of Economics, and here is your bonus for 20. 4 answers, 5 points each. I want to know what are the 4 titles of the operas comprising The Ring of the Nibelungs by Wagner.
Das Rheingold.
Rheingold, correct, 5 points.
Die Valkyrie.
Die Valkyrie, 5 points.
Siegfried.
Siegfried, 5 points. And the last one? Any answer? I think I must cut you off there. It is Götterdämmerung or The Twilight of the Gods. I have a bonus of 40 coming up. That was 15 out of 20 to the LSE, and here is your starter for 10. Take away that bauble, ordered Oliver Cromwell. What bauble?
London, Fisk.
The Mace in the House of Commons.
Mace of the House of Commons is correct. 10 points to the London School of Economics. Here is your bonus for 40. 4 answers, 10 points each. Many novel titles are quotations from well-known authors. From which authors are the following taken? Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
John Donne.
John Donne is correct. Send not to ask for, never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee, from one of his sermons. Secondly, Howard Spring's Fame is the Spur.
Richard III.
No, it's not in Richard III, in fact. It is in Milton, Lycidas. Fame is the spur that the clear spirit doth raise, that last infirmity of noble mind. And thirdly, Somerset Maugham, the Colonel's Lady. Any answer there?
Oscar Wilde.
No, it is in fact Rudyard Kipling. From the ladies, for the Colonel's Lady and Judy O'Grady are sisters under their skins. And lastly, Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. Any answer there?
Shakespeare.
No, in fact, a difficult one. It's Ernest Dowson. I have forgot much, Sinara. Gone with the wind, flung roses, roses, riotously with the throng. And now I have a bonus of 20 coming up again, and here is your starter for 10. When one says that something is like the curate's egg, what is the meaning of the phrase, and what is its origin?
Cardiff, Cashman.
Like a curate's egg, does it refer to baldness? The origin being...
Baldness, did you say?
Baldness.
No, not the curate's pate in that sense, no. That's not the answer. LSE, can you take it? Something being like the curate's egg.
London, Seagull.
Is it something to do with an emolument which vicars used to get at certain times?
No, it's not. It means good in parts. It comes from the Punch cartoon of the last century, where the host asked the shy curate if his egg was good, and he replied, good in parts, trying to keep in with the host. I have the same bonus of 20 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. Blake's Marriage of Heaven and Hell, Goethe's Faust, Mozart's Così fan tutte, and Burke's Reflections on the French Revolution all appeared in the same year. Which is it? And the clue is in the last one.
Cardiff, Morrison.
1794.
No, that's not the answer. LSE, can you take it?
London, Davis.
1789.
Bad luck, it was in fact 1790. Perhaps he wrote it in 1789, took a year to come out. In fact, it was 1790, a year after the French Revolution started. I have a bonus of 20 coming up again, and here is another starter for it, at 10. Which country won most medals at the Olympic Games in
London, Fisk.
USSR.
No, that's a very rash interruption. That's a 5-point penalty to the London School of Economics for interrupting, for the wrong answer. And I read the whole question to Cardiff. Which country won most medals at the Olympic Games in 1916, 1940, and 1944?
Cardiff, Cashman.
There were no Olympics in those years.
Correct, absolutely right. They all were wartime years, and so there were no Olympic Games. 10 points to Cardiff. Here's your bonus for 20. What is the most dangerous thing about hunting a snark? What is the most dangerous thing about hunting a snark?
What's a snark?
You don't know what a snark is, you haven't a hope. But...
No idea.
Well, the answer is that it may turn out to be a boojum in Lewis Carroll's poem, The Hunting of the Snark. If it is, you will softly and suddenly vanish away, which is what happened to one of them. I have a bonus of 40 coming up, a big bonus. And here is your starter for 10. The population of the world is now nearly 3,000 million, to be precise, 2,852 in 1959. What does the United Nations think it will be by the end of this century?
London, Seagull.
Close on 3,000 million.
No, it is now 3,000 million. That's not the answer. Cardiff, can you take it?
Cardiff, Cashman.
At a guess, 4,200 million.
No, in fact, they are more gloomy about it than you are. Over 6,000 million, they think, by the turn of the century. It will have doubled by then. Same bonus of 40 coming up, and here is your starter. Disinterested intellectual curiosity is the lifeblood of real civilization. Which historian wrote this in the preface of which book?
London, Fisk.
Gibbon in the preface to The Decline and Fall.
No. Cardiff, can you take it?
Cardiff, State.
Toynbee.
No, in fact, bad luck, it is Trevelyan. G.M. Trevelyan in his English social history. So I have the same big bonus 40, still looming up. And I want to know, as start for 10, by what name is the painter Dominikos Theotokopoulos better known?
Cardiff, Cashman.
El Greco.
El Greco is correct. When he arrived in Spain, it's not surprising they couldn't say that. They called him the Greek one, El Greco. And here is your bonus for 40. First of all, for 25 points, which London college has 3 kings on the staff? And I've put kings in inverted commas there. And for 5 points each, what are the titles of those 3 kings? That brings us with only 14 minutes left of playing time, and we have a breather there, but you can answer your bonus question, if you can. You have the right to any answer?
The colleges. Which London college?
Which London college has 3 kings on the staff, and I'm going to cut you off.
I'll take a guess, King's College.
No, that's a valid guess, I agree. In fact, the answer is, slight trick, the College of Arms, which has on its staff the Garter King of Arms, the Clarenceux King of Arms, and the Norroy King of Arms. So that brings us, in fact, to the time for a breather, with the LSE having scored 40 points and Cardiff 15. So at that point, we will give the teams a short rest and be back with you in a minute. Hello again. So let's start the clock. And I have a bonus for 25 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. Coffee bars have recently come back into fashion in England. But in whose reign was the golden age of coffee bars?
Cardiff, Cashman.
Queen Anne.
Queen Anne is correct, known then as coffee houses. 10 points to Cardiff, and here is your bonus for 25. 5 answers, 5 points each. Many foreign painters have been patronized in the past by English kings. Which kings were the patrons of these painters? Firstly, Holbein.
Henry the Eighth.
Henry VIII, correct. 5 points. Van Dyck.
Charles the First.
Charles I is correct for 5 points. Sir Peter Lely.
Lely's.
Peter Lely.
George the First.
George I, no, he was the end of the 17th century as Charles II and also James II took him on. Sir Godfrey Kneller.
Anybody in it? No.
I guess that.
Take a guess. Take a
George the First.
No, bad luck, it was that time a bit later, William and Mary, or Queen Anne, and lastly, Johann Zoffany.
Try George.
I hesitate to say this, but George the First.
George I, bad luck, in fact, it was George III. I'm sorry about that. Slithering around amongst the kings and queens. I have a bonus of 15 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. What is the meaning of the old-fashioned expletive, odds bodykins?
London, Fisk.
God's body.
Can you make it a bit more precise? I think you have it well enough. Well, in fact, you have left out a rather important part. I think I'd better pass it over to Cardiff. In fact, Cardiff, can you take it?
It's something to do with the garment they were wearing.
Any answer from Cardiff?
Cardiff, Morrison.
It's something to do with the garments they were wearing?
No. In fact, the very important part of it, which is the kins, means little body, God's little body. It's a diminutive, or dear body, a form of endearment. I have the same bonus coming up, 15 points, and here is your starter for 10. Last year, a famous American film star died at the age of 60. He's
Cardiff, Cashman.
Clark Gable, Scarf Gone the Wind.
No, I'm afraid that isn't. It's a bold interruption, but I'd have to lose you 5 points because it isn't the answer I wanted, and I must read the whole question for the LSE. Last year, a famous American film star died at the age of 60. His usual role was that of the hero. Significantly, he starred in A Farewell to Arms, and For Whom the Bell Tolls, based on the two Hemingway books. What was his name?
Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper is correct for 10 points, the LSE. Bad luck, Cardiff, and here is your bonus for 15. What is the difference between hyperbole and litotes? Hyperbole, litotes.
Hyperbole is exaggeration. Litotes is just the opposite. The underestimate.
Hyperbole is exaggeration.
Yes.
And
Litosis is
the opposite.
it's underemphasis.
Yes, I'll accept that understatement. Hyperbole is exaggerating something. Litotes is deliberate understatement. 15 points to the LSE there, and I have a bonus of 30 coming up. Here is your starter for 10. Which British newspaper was the first one to send special correspondence abroad, and also the first to have a war correspondent?
London, Siegel.
Telegraph.
No, that's not the answer. Cardiff, can you take it?
Cardiff, State.
Times.
The Times, correct. 10 points. It made it a little easier having eliminated the Telegraph. 10 points to Cardiff, and here is your bonus for 30. Joan of Arc has always been a subject of interest to dramatists. For 10 points apiece, name the plays written about her by the following authors. George Bernard Shaw.
St. Joan.
St. Joan is correct for 10 points. Jean Anouilh.
The Lark.
The Lark is correct for another 10 points. And Brecht. Bertolt Brecht.
Maid of Orleans.
No, afraid not. He wrote actually 2. I would have accepted St. Joan of the Stockyards or The Visions of Simon Machard. That's 20 out of the 30. I've got a bonus of 25 coming up now, and I've got a starter that I want you to listen to. I want you to listen, in fact, to a recording for a moment.
Yesterday, the Japanese, the last of our enemies.
London, Siegel.
Clement Attlee announcing the surrender of Japan on VJ Day.
Very well interrupted. That's exactly what it was, and all I in fact needed was who the speaker was, but that's an excellent interruption. 10 points, the LSE, and here is our bonus for 25. 5 answers, 5 points each. In this one, I'm going to say 2 words. This is an intelligence test type of question. I want you to give me another word which rhymes with the first word and which means the same or nearly the same as the second word. For example, if I give you patent and hidden, I might expect back latent. Right, first pair are variety and worry.
Anxiety.
5 points. Second pair, saint and old.
Quaint.
Quaint, 5 points. Thirdly, glamour and outcry.
Clamour.
Clamour, 5 points. And fourthly, recite and courteous.
Polite.
Polite is correct. In fact, I wrongly told you that there were 5 parts to that question. There are only 4, so I'm afraid you get your maximum with 20 points. I have a bonus of 30 coming up now, and here is your starter for 10. Who said, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed"?
Cardiff, Morrison.
George Washington said it on the day.
Now, I'm afraid that's not right. I must penalise you 5 points and pass the question to the LSE in its entirety, which is, who said, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants"? An answer? Too long.
Machiavelli.
No, Machiavelli. Really might have done. Too long. The answer, in fact, is Thomas Jefferson. Contemporary with Washington, but it wasn't Washington who said it. In the letter it was to William Stephen Smith, if you doubt me. And I have a bonus of 30 coming up again, the same one, and here is your starter for 10. King Henry I is said to have died of eating too many of them. They are eel-shaped.
London, Fisk.
Lampreys.
Lampreys, I accept. I think you said lampreys. It sounded as though it might have been an F instead of a P, but I'll accept it. A surfeit of lampreys he died of, and I have a bonus of 30 for you. 2 parts, 15 points each. Which French painter was known as Le Douanier?
Henri Rousseau.
Rousseau is correct for 10 points, 15 points. And secondly, why was he called?
Because he worked in the customs house.
He was a customs official, correct? Full 30 there for the LSE. I've now got a bonus of 20 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. When was national service first made compulsory in this country?
Cardiff, State.
1917.
Sorry, I can't accept that. LSE, can you take it?
1916.
Yes, it was 1916. Bad luck to Cardiff. That's 10 points to the LSE. And here is your bonus, and I want you to listen to it this time. 2 parts, 10 points each. I'm going to play you 2 famous pieces of music. In each case, the subject used by the composer is that of a bird. 5 points each. I want you to tell me first the bird that the composer had in mind, and for a further 5 points, the name of the composer. Right, after that magnificent conducting,
I think the bird is
they
the
followed you
lark.
very well, I thought.
I think the bird is the lark.
Lark.
No, the bird isn't the lark, I'm afraid. Can you give me the composer?
Oh, it won't be the same one. Stab at Delius.
No, same. It's in fact merely rhymes. It is Sibelius is the swan of Tuonela. None there. Now listen to this piece. I've never seen such a confident young. Stravinsky's Firebird, correct for 10 points there to the LSE. And I have a big bonus of 40 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. One of the labors of Hercules was to clean the Augean stables, and he did the task in 1 day. How did he do this? How did he clean these vast stables in 1 day?
London, Fisk.
Tie brooms to the horses' tails.
That would have been worthy of Hercules, I agree almost. Cardiff, can you take it? No, the answer is he diverted a river through them. Required more strength, maybe, than tying on the brooms. Same bonus of 40, and here is your starter. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. Finally, they got married. Who married them?
London, Fisk.
The piggy that lived on the hill.
No, I think he merely lent them a ring. Cardiff, can you take it? Any answer? It was the turkey who lived on the hill. They got, in fact, their wedding ring from the pig, but they actually were married by the turkey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, 10 points. Thirdly, Keystone State. Keystone State.
Florida.
Arizona.
No.
Arizona.
What? I'm
Arizona.
afraid not. It is Pennsylvania. And lastly, the Bluegrass State.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, correct. 2 out of the 4, 20 points to the London School of Economics. Here is another big bonus of 40 coming up, and here is your starter for 10. Thomas Blood was an adventurer who was accused of a crime against the Crown.
London, Davis.
Trying to steal the crown jewels from the Tower of London.
That is correct. He was pardoned by Charles II. Well, all right. I don't know which of us beat the other two, but I agree I had an advantage. It's written down. Okay, 10 points there. He tried to steal the crown jewels, and here is your bonus for 40. 4 answers, 10 points each. For 10 points, I want you to name to me the 3 great poets referred to in the following verse. and for a further 10 points, the great poet who wrote it. And this is the verse. 3 poets in 3 distant ages born, Greece, Italy, and England did adorn. The first in loftiness of thought surpassed, the next in majesty, in both the last. The force of nature could no further go, to make a third she joined reformer 2. Right, who were the 3 poets and who was writing about them?
The first was Homer.
Homer is correct for 10 points.
The second was...
The Italian.
An answer?
Not Dante.
Yes, Dante.
Dante is correct, having written down Italy, yes. Well done. And the third one?
Milton.
Milton is correct. Finally, who was writing about
Tennyson.
them? Tennyson, no, Dryden was writing about them, which gives you 30 out of your 40. Dryden was writing about them. I have another big bonus of 40 coming up. So here is again your starter for 10. Is the magnetic pole west, southwest, south, southeast?
London, fifth, south. Of the North Pole.
that is the answer. Well done. It is south of the North Pole. Every place in the world is, of course, due south of the North Pole. Very well interrupted. 10 points the LSE, and here is your bonus. Again, 4 parts, 4 points each, 10 points each part. Authors and their characters become famous together. Kingsley Amis and Lucky Jim, John Osborne and Jimmy Porter. But many people can read a strip cartoon for years without noticing who it is signed by. Who draws the following characters? First of all, Fluke.
Wally Fawkes.
Yes, Wally Fawkes, I can accept. That brings us to the end of playing time, but you can just finish your bonus. It is Wally Fawkes, he signs his name as Trog, 10 points. Secondly, Lil Abner, can I get around
Al
to?
Cap.
Al Cap, 10 points. Thirdly, Andy Cap, no relation.
Smythe.
Smythe draws Andy Cap, another 10 points. And lastly, Peanuts.
Pappas?
No, it is Schultz. That's 30 out of your 40, and it brings the score to LSE 265, Cardiff 55. So LSE are this week's winners. Bad luck, Cardiff, and congratulations to LSE on a very good win. So next week, the LSE will go on for the 3rd time to meet University Challenge from Edinburgh. Until then, it is good night from Cardiff.
Nostar.
Nice to have linguists with us. Good night from the London School of Economics.
Good night.
And from me too, until the same time next week, good night.